Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I have the 2023 work in progress, I was told, of the Air Force performance of the Air Force Academy at the recent graduation. So, here goes the critique.
This great nation. The Cadet Honor Guard was founded in 1974 as a rifle drill team and since then has had a continuous
I appreciate
education in
the
excellence
entrance
in
here. I really
physical
do.
fitness.
However,
Over the last 45 years,
technique was not the
the Cadet
same. You
Honor
could
Guard
see
numerous
as the
commemorative
team
awards
entered. There's a
and
little bit of
tributes
a
have been
phasing
given
issue
to
with the
outstanding
feet.
troops. The Cadet Honor Guard
So
is
that just
dedicated to
takes a lot of
artistic
practice.
expression,
If you're going to
responsibility,
enter in a
purpose
single
driven,
straight
and
line, which is
outstanding.
fine, not a problem,
Notable being
then you're
the
going to
Honor Guard drill
need to
team.
turn her voice down. There we go. Then if you're going to enter in a single file line, which is just fine, then you're going to need to
Student cadets in the Singer of the Future
ensure that
competition
the
compete with
timing
sincerity and
is the
true
same.
intent.
So you've got the chair step
Student
mark
cadets
time,
will learn and execute
just like the Air Force
synchronization,
Honor Guard
the
drill
routine
team, and that's
steps
fine.
of the competition
But
sequence
make sure that
and the
you
practice routine.
make sure that you enter that you start the chair step when you've halted. So a really good way to facilitate this is to come in and hit your mark wherever it is. And even if you need to adjust after you hit your mark, then not a problem. But let's say you come in and you hit your mark with your left foot. So you're marching in, hit that mark, bring your trail foot, whichever foot that happens to be, bring it up, and then start the mark time. So hit your mark, trail foot up next to your the foot that hit the mark, and then start the mark time. Start the chair step, leading into the whatever mark time you choose. It doesn't have to necessarily be chair step, but leading into a mark time like that, kind of marking time and continuously moving forward is it just looks awkward. It doesn't. It looks like you don't know what you're doing. However, hitting your mark, then going into the mark time, and then adjusting your alignment, your spacing is fine. That's not a problem. That's why the Air Force Honor Guard drill team executes the mark time, and then that's why you should be as well. So I notice you're carrying the rifles a bit low. So is there a reason for that? So there is a difference here. So notice the right forearm here is quite angled quite low here, and then his right forearm isn't angled as much. It's similar, but if this is the way you want to carry it, this is exhibition drill. You can do what you want, not a problem. But the old adage of carrying at port, the ceremonial version of port with the left eye, right thigh, doesn't work. The left eye, right thigh means that as soon as you start marking time, you're gonna hit the butt of the rifle with your right thigh, and that's silly. So carrying the rifle like this, left eye, and then butt of the rifle center on your torso, perfect. That's it. However, that height then means that you either have your knees facing forward or your knees are angled out slightly, like the color bearers of the Continental Color Guard. They have that. Unfortunately, they have to have that slight harness crotch syndrome because of the old uniform that they wear with the upper garment having that slight V, and then they have to have that colors harness there, and it's quite low, so their knees have to be spread out. Either that or the harness socket moves back and forth like this. So I think raising the rifle might be a little bit
And perfected for decades.
better for you.
Most Vietnam
So
and Marine
also
guards
one of the
have
things that the Air
experienced
Force Honor Guard
training.
drill that I've talked with a couple of members of the Honor Guard drill team about is when you execute the chair step. Let me go back here just a bit. There. So watch the feet as you're executing the chair step.
What we need today is the competition piece
Where are the feet going? Now, interestingly, this cadet right here, as he's bringing his legs up, oh, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. And I hate it when I do that. Sorry about that. So let's go back here. But look at the feet and how different they are. And of course, I'm going to stop the video when your feet are down. There, I got it. All right. So notice the commander, as the commander is raising up for the mark time. You notice you can see the bottom of the foot, and then as this cadet is marking time, the foot is flat. As this cadet marks time, the toe is actually angled outward. So there's quite a bit of variation of technique. So that's something that you really need to pay attention. So if you're going to go to the, I have a bayonet, which I could mount right now and show you. Okay, all right, I will. Okay, all right. So if you're going to go to the position that the Air Force Honor Guard uses, then you're going to have to angle your hands. If you want the T, fine. If you don't, fine. But you're going to have to grab and have your hand flared and angled, which also means elbow out as well. So you're going to have to find that that position that's going to facilitate the look that you want. All right. So if your elbows are going to be in, that's fine. Then you're probably going to have to grab like this, and that's okay, not a problem. But whatever you choose, then there. Whatever you choose has to be applied similarly, just like the mark time. Has to be applied uniformly, really, across the board there. Okay, so and the cadets. So let me go back and watch the commander here. The academy sword is doesn't necessarily facilitate the. Okay, I see what you did. All right, and that works. So holding it like this, bringing it over, and then coming out with the hand, that was good thinking, good work there, and I appreciate that very much. Holding it like this doesn't really work all that well, and I'm just trying to think of a similar position. It'll run through my head while I critique the rest of the video, and if I don't come back to it, that means I haven't really come up with anything. But if I do, then I'll show you. So the difference with the commander yeah, Commander, I think you should have acted separately from the rest of the team, instead of what you did here. So I need to I'm going to play around with this for just a minute and see what I can come up with, because now it's bugging me. And I'll come back in just a minute, but then I'll continue with my suggestions for the commander, with or without any sword adjustment. Okay, Commander, so let's see here. Now, I can't do everything that you're doing here because I'm going to smack my desk with the sword. So it's going to, you bring the sword down, you bring it over, and you grab. I'm going to move closer. So you're grabbing with your thumb right here. on the T handle, and then you come out and then flare in, and you're holding like this. Got it. And it doesn't matter how tall or short you are, you can just let your arms hang, and that's not a problem. So here's what I suggest instead of what you've done. So what I suggest is you grab, let go, grab, and then come to the position of order sword. All right, like parade rest. Yeah, actually parade rest, that's it. Order sword would be at attention. So parade rest, and then come up to attention, and then, like I said, I'm going to smack my desk here. So bring the sword up, do your TL, and turn around. TL close to turn around, and then call the team to attention. But because I think your variation here and coming to attention, moving the sword, coming to attention, and yet having your head down, it just, and also the transition of the sword really didn't. It was sharp. It just didn't. I don't think it didn't work all that well. Then you come to attention, but really, so this is, and I'm going to write about this in my exhibition drill, the third book that I'm working on. You, as the commander, armed with a sword outside of the team, you are a separate entity. Okay, you're not part of the drill team. You are the commander of the drill team, and so that separation is necessary because of what you're equipped with. Now, if you had a rifle, like many JROTCs, and even senior ROTC drill teams will do this, the commander will have a rifle and integrate with the team, and then come out of, and separate from the team. But the sword means that you're completely separated as the commander. And so you're not necessarily performing with the team. Look at the service drill teams and how they integrate the commander, NCO or officer, doesn't matter, but they integrate the commander with the team during certain portions. But the commander really doesn't perform throughout the performance. The commander is part of the. If you look at the older Air Force drill team performances, they have they come forward with the tetrad, which is 4 of the team members spinning rifles around the center, and the center then is filled with the position of the commander of the team at that time. So, but then that's it. That or the commander comes in as the very point of the wedge, or something like that. So the commander is always centered as part of a formation. I appreciate the transitions there. That was good. Nice catches. Well done. Good catch up there. A little bit of a problem, but that's okay. As was stated, this is a work in progress, and I get it. So you're at, Commander, you're at present. From what point? I was busy watching the others. Some timing and technique issues. So I think it would have been better with the timing had you brought your sword up for present, and then arms, bring it down, and then have them at the same time. The drill team members, they spin and then come into the present position. I think it would have been that much more effective to have that happen all at the same time. So, like I was told, this is a work in progress, and that's fine. So, letting your rifle get away from you. Let's watch this toss right here. All right. So why did that happen? Because when you grabbed your rifle and tossed it, you grabbed it here, which is fine, but as you tossed it, you brought your right over this way instead of bringing it up. So you created you created momentum going to your right. Obviously, you had to scramble to get the rifle. So, good. You went to the next position. That's great to catch up like that. Good positions here. The pivots on the toes works well. Okay, now here's another variation of technique that I want you to watch here. The cadet coming in center. So see how his knee comes out, and yet the ankle is angled inward. So, and and again, I'm not pointing these out because I personally, don't like something, or I have something against anyone. I don't know any of these cadets, at least I don't think anyway. And so all I do is work at a professional level to critique something like this. And I know that 99.9% of the viewers who watch this get that, but there is a tiny percentage that just gets so bent out of shape by the things that I either write or say that tough. All right, anyway, so variation of technique, and that's not a good thing. Also, the timing is a little off there as well. Some phasing going on with the rifles. That really is a timing issue there. So why have the cadet coming into the center there? Okay. All right, so when I come through, I'm teaching in Montana in October. And then I'm going to Arizona to see family. But as I drive through, I'm going to stop by and we're going to work together. Okay? We'll schedule a time as the time gets closer to work with you, because I really need to be able to show you hand position and arm position and all that. So for these tosses, though, it's all if you look at the silent drill platoon and you get to the long line and then the soloist performances, when the soloist comes out with the rifle and balances it in front of them, so all three of them, when they do the at some point they come from right shoulder, balance the rifle, they bring it in front, it sits there for just a second, and then they toss it. there's the purpose to all of that, and that is to not only align the rifle, show the precision and the technique that they've perfected to the audience. There's all that part of it, but also it's to ensure that the rifle is steady, and then they can toss it well. So here, that's not happening. The tosses aren't happening all that well. So you're getting some height, but you're not getting rotation, and you're not getting distance on some of them, and probably some others are probably not getting some height. So that's something that needs to happen as you bring the rifle out. You need to come down, let the rifle start to fall forward, and at that very sweet spot moment, then toss forward. So that you're using the momentum of the rifle falling forward, and then throwing the butt of the rifle over it, so that the butt then carries the rifle over, so that you have distance, you have rotation, and you also have height. So there's three things that you have to work on those these longer exchanges. And I know everybody's trying their best here, and I get it. I do. You've come to a certain point, and some other exchanges too. That's great. Good. Oh, so all right, so now I understand why he stepped out. Slow on the uptake here. So you had the two boxes because there are 8 team members. So that kick is meant to facilitate a kind of a scatter-ish type of drill. So what you did just there, the foot sweep and the knee bent out, that's to facilitate a movement to the side. But and you just used it as an affectation, as a flash, really, here, which is okay. And movement in the background is a bit distracting. This is so spacing is a little inconsistent. So some unsuredness I can see. But you're trying your best, and that's good.
The line machine displays a series of rifle movements in sequential order. Watch closely as the team ripples their M1s up and down the line.
So that little hand movement isn't all that, just moving from here to here isn't all that flashy, and that's what ripple lines are meant for, flashy moves. You can have little movements in there to be flashy, but just that small movement, I don't know that it works all that well. So don't let these problems phase you. At least I hope you're not letting them phase you. Things happen, and you just need to recover from them. Nice exchanges there. That was well thought out, I appreciate that very much. I call those Navy exchanges because the ceremonial guard drill team performs those, and I like them a lot, especially how they do it with the half facing movement and then coming back to facing forward. So why are you in and then you have that foot flash there, that's cool. Why are you in this position? What is it that you are doing in this position except facing every direction? Is there a purpose to it, or is it just another formation in which to perform? So can you use this formation, the two boxes of 4, and then honestly, why do you have your center cadet here? Why do you have your back to the audience? So the transition to this here, I really think, Commander, you should have been much farther back, and then then center cadet here, because you're the odd man out. You have 4 and 4, and you're the odd one there. I really think that you should have stepped to the rear. And you could have even assumed a position of a supernumerary, actually, at that point. You could have you could have popped your rifle up to port, come to carry, and then executed a 2 count about face, not the pivot about face, but the honor guard about face, and then march to the rear, come to order, come to ceremonial, and then I think that would have worked really well, and highlighted the rest of the team. Although your spins there were great, that's fine. But now, what are you doing? That's the whole point. How is this facilitating a good performance? With you turned around, you having your back to the audience, and then here we have others who are facing the audience, others who are facing to the side of the audience. So Commander comes forward, you change places.
The final sequence of the routine before the team exits showcases the double spin. The rifle will spin a full 720 degrees.
So yeah, I'll let this play in just a minute, but honestly, I think that would have been much better. Commander, you should have stayed a little farther back, and I'll call the center man there at the back now. Center man, you should have then stepped off to the back, to the rear. Behind, no, next to the commander. So commander here at the back, or as you're looking at it. So commander could have been here, offset from center, and then center man comes back here, comes in, turns around. You're both facing the same way. Back of my hand, front, whatever. But
Before the team exits it and completes the spin. Thank you again for
so
checking out
as you're spinning,
your Cadet Honor Guard drill team.
so as you're spinning, make sure you're not bending your knees. I know that it. So on this, I think that could have been facilitated much better. So from here, as soon as you turn around, Now you all start moving into the two lines. As soon as you hit the two, because this is taking up time, nobody wants to watch you set up just to leave. Okay, they want to see you leave, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that they want to see you leave in a more smooth and designed way. This really is kind of clunky here. So you start marching back, and then the outer two come in as soon as the whole team steps off. The outer two come in, they fill in the two positions in each line, and then that takes maybe, let's say, 6 steps at most. After the 6, you all step off at quick time, and you're good to go, and you're still marching. See here, this is kind of clunky. Why are you executing slow step? Now you're moving out, and you're integrating, you're zippering in, it's called, because the zipper comes together. But I think that would have been much, much better to have you slow step for maybe 6 steps, have the outer two integrate, and then after the 6, bam, you're off and running. And then you zipper in and you continue, and it's just seamless. You never stop. You go and you leave the crowd wanting more. All right, so it's a work in progress, and we'll get to work on it. But as soon as you can, as soon as school's back in session and the team can meet up, start working together. Start perfecting. Start working on the precision of the routine. And practice. I know it's tough being a cadet, having all your academic requirements, and then having to go to drill team practice and having those requirements as well. But this is what makes you a better person, honestly, is having little sleep and lots to do and doing it all well. It works, honestly, when you're younger, and you can rely on the training that you receive at the Air Force Academy. It not only through your academics, but in this extracurricular type stuff. You can rely on this for the rest of your life. This is going to make you a better officer as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon.